In the heart of the city stood a grand hotel, a place where the rich and powerful gathered, where every guest was treated like royalty. Sparkling chandeliers lit up the pristine marble floors, and the air smelled of fresh roses and expensive cologne. But one chilly afternoon, an unexpected visitor crossed its doors. A man with worn-out clothes, scruffy hair, and eyes that told a story of hardship. He wasn't there to cause trouble. All he wanted was a glass of water and a moment of rest. As the homeless man stepped further into the lobby, the atmosphere shifted. His hesitation was palpable. You could almost see the weight of his uncertainty in each slow, deliberate step. The polished marble beneath his scuffed shoes gleamed where the greenhouse light streamed in, but it did nothing to polish away the judgmental stares. Guests in tailored suits and silken dresses paused mid-conversation. Their laughter trailed off as they watched him approach the reception desk. Behind the gleaming counter stood a young receptionist, every bit the picture of refined composure. Her crisp uniform, perfectly coiffed hair, and practiced smile were the first line of defense for the hotel's reputation. But when she laid eyes on the man, her smile faltered. Her eyebrows arched in disdain. Leaning forward, she met him with cool politeness that barely concealed her contempt. "Sir," she said, her voice sharp enough to slice through the hushed murmur of the lobby, "we don't serve your kind here." The words rang out, louder than anyone expected, igniting a ripple of shock among the onlookers. The homeless man's shoulders sagged, as though the very air had grown heavier around him. He straightened, planting his feet firmly on the ground, and with a steady, measured tone replied, "I only need a glass of water and a moment to rest." Laughter, quiet at first, fluttered among the nearby guests. Some exchanged uneasy glances, others smirked, as though witnessing a private joke. The receptionist let out a short, dismissive laugh. "Please step aside. This is a 5-star establishment, 5-star, she sneered, as though the phrase tasted foul on her tongue. "We can't have loiterers tarnishing our image." The homeless man's eyes flicked to the bellboy standing discreetly to the side. The young attendant's shoulders tensed, and for a heartbeat it seemed he might intervene. But when he opened his mouth, the receptionist shot him a warning glare sharp as broken glass. He closed it just as quickly, his jaw tightening, but he didn't move. Still, there was kindness in his eyes, a silent apology to the man at the desk. Under that oppressive glare, the homeless man bowed his head. He exhaled slowly, the edges of his resolve softening but not breaking. He said nothing more. The receptionist, irritated by his silence, loudly reached for the phone. "I'm calling security," she declared. The word security echoed like a gavel slamming down, summoning a tense hush from the gathered crowd. Guests shifted in their seats, some gathering phones from handbags and jacket pockets, ready to capture every moment. The homeless man's calm composure contrasted starkly with the rising tension. His face was a study in quiet dignity, as though he knew this ordeal was merely a test. As the receptionist's finger hovered over the speed dial, a sense of inevitability filled the room. No one could have predicted what would come next. Just as the receptionist's finger hovered over the speed dial, a low rumble vibrated through the hotel's grand foyer. Heads turned toward the gleaming glass doors as they swung open to admit a sleek, black luxury sedan. The engine's purr faded into a reverent silence. Even the clink of ice in the lobby bar seemed to pause. From the car's back seat emerged an impeccably dressed gentleman in his late 50s, salt and pepper hair neatly combed back, tailored charcoal suit, and an air of quiet authority. He paused on the threshold, surveying the room with calm eyes that took in every detail: the polished marble floor, the tense receptionist, the gathering crowd. The bellboy instinctively straightened, and the staff stiffened, bracing for his command. Before anyone could offer a greeting, the older man pivoted, his gaze locking on the trembling figure at the reception desk. Then, softly but with unmistakable warmth, he spoke the homeless man's name. Every eye snapped toward the scruffy visitor, now standing as still as a statue, wondering if they had heard correctly. "Michael." The owner stepped forward, removing his suit jacket and extending his arms. "Is that really you?" Time seemed to freeze as the room absorbed the revelation. The homeless man's worn features dissolved into a stunned smile. He hesitated only a moment before rushing into the owner's embrace. The luxurious lobby, moments ago a stage for humiliation, now became the backdrop for an emotional reunion. The receptionist's mouth fell open. Guests gasped. The bellboy, wide-eyed, finally allowed himself a hopeful grin. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. That's the hotel owner's brother. He's been undercover. The owner stepped back, his hand still resting on Michael's shoulder, and addressed the assembly in a voice both gentle and firm. Everyone, I'd like you to meet my brother, Michael. He's been traveling incognito to see how we treat those who most need our help. He paused, letting the weight of his words sink in. It appears I've learned more about kindness today than I ever could from any report. As realization dawned, the receptionist's cheeks burned crimson. She swallowed hard, her grip on the phone loosening. In that moment, the power dynamic shifted completely. The man she had scorned was not only innocent but noble, while she stood exposed for her prejudice. All around, the staff exchanged furtive glances, acknowledging that nothing in that lobby would ever look the same again. As a hush settled over the lobby, the hotel owner's words hung in the air like a deliberate chord, compelling every soul present to listen. He turned to the receptionist, whose face was still an angry shade of crimson, and spoke with measured calm. "Forgive me, I think there's been a misunderstanding." His voice carried the authority of a man accustomed to command, yet beneath it lay a current of genuine compassion. He gestured toward Michael, whose once-worn coat now bore the unmistakable dignity of a man reclaimed. "This is my brother, Michael. He has walked these very streets, experienced hunger and hardship most of us cannot imagine. I asked him to come here today, not as an observer, but as a test, to see how we, as a team, treat those who cannot repay us, those whom society often overlooks." The receptionist's knees nearly buckled. Her trembling hand dropped the phone to the marble floor with a soft clatter that seemed deafening in the sudden stillness. I'm so sorry," she stammered, eyes filled with shame and regret. But the owner did not allow her apology to stand alone. He turned to the assembled staff and continued, "Actions speak louder than words. We must hold ourselves to the highest standard of humanity, not just excellence in service." He fixed his gaze on the bellboy, the young attendant whose silent empathy had not gone unnoticed. "And you," the owner said, placing a gentle hand on the bellboy's shoulder, "exemplify the spirit we value most. Your kindness and respect, even under pressure, represent the heart of this establishment." At that proclamation, murmurs of approval swept through the lobby. Guests leaned in, their earlier smirks transformed into nods of admiration. The receptionist, meanwhile, stood rooted to the spot, her posture shrinking under the weight of her actions. With a decisive yet compassionate tone, the owner announced, "I'm afraid I must relieve you of your duties, effective immediately." Her eyes locked on Michael, hoping perhaps for mercy, but instead finding only his quiet, steady gaze, a reflection of her own prejudice. She swallowed, offered another choked apology, then slipped away, shoulders hunched, each step a testament to her newfound humility. Turning back to Michael, the owner smiled, a light breaking through the tension. "Welcome home, brother." He paused, then beckoned the bellboy closer. "And as for you," he said, producing a crisp envelope, "a promotion to concierge, and a bonus for reminding us all what true service means." The bellboy's eyes widened as he accepted the envelope with both hands, gratitude shining brighter than any chandelier in the lobby. Michael placed a firm hand on his shoulder, nodding in silent acknowledgement of the young man's kindness. In that moment, the hotel lobby, a place of opulence and strict protocol, became a stage for redemption and renewal. Guests whispered of the extraordinary scene they had witnessed. A fallen man restored, a hypocritical staff member exposed, and true compassion rewarded. The moral was unmistakable. Dignity lies not in one's attire or title, but in the choices we make when no one is watching. In the days that followed, word of what happened in that lobby spread far beyond the hotel's gilded walls. Guests who'd once whispered about the scandal now spoke of the redemptive power of compassion. Michael, once a stranger in ragged clothing, found himself welcomed not only by his family but by an entire community committed to change. He partnered with the hotel to launch a foundation providing meals, shelter, and job training to those in need. Proof that a single act of kindness can spark something far greater than any 5-star rating. The bellboy, now concierge, walked the halls with newfound confidence. He greeted every guest, regardless of station, with the same respect he'd shown Michael. His story became a beacon to his colleagues, a reminder that dignity and empathy are the true hallmarks of exceptional service. Meanwhile, the former receptionist began her own journey of redemption. She enrolled in sensitivity training, volunteered at local shelters, and learned the value of looking beyond appearances. Though she'd lost her job, she gained a deeper understanding of humanity, one no uniform could ever provide. And so, the hotel itself transformed. Management implemented regular staff workshops on empathy and inclusion. The grand foyer, once a backdrop for opulence alone, became a place where lives were changed every day, where stories of struggle met opportunities for hope. As for you, dear viewer, remember this. We never know whose path we might cross, or how a small gesture can alter someone's destiny. A glass of water, a kind word, a single moment of compassion. It's in these moments that our true character shines through. If this story moved you, share it with someone who could use a reminder that kindness costs nothing but can change everything. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories that celebrate the best of humanity. Until next time, stay kind, and you might just change a life you never expected to touch.